Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Arise, giving all praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, cherisher and sustainer of all the boundless universes. Extend the holiest, highest of honors to his holy divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. Extend the highest of honors as well to his forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, who did indeed warn and stir up the nations. Islam, Moors.
Islam.
Extend high honors as well to the Moorish flag, the red flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center. These 5 points represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are the 5 highest principles known to man. Islam, Moors.
Islam.
Extend high honors to the American flag, also known as the Stars and Stripes. This flag exists as a constant reminder that the European nation owe you, the Moors, of compound interest. Islam, Moors.
Islam.
Extend honors to the noble Vanguard staff and noble Sheik staff and noble Vanguard staff who keep the peace. And giving honors to you, the hills and bays. For without you, there is no Moorish movement. Islam.
Islam.
How's everyone on a holy night?
Islam.
Praise Allah. Brother Charles Bay, Islam.
Islam.
I'm honored to have you present.
Thank you.
Praise Allah.
It's a pleasure.
I want to give honors, extend special honors to the delegation that accompanied me to South Atlanta High School today. They demonstrated for the Asiatic youth. Moors, when I tell you our Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the man, always be the man. Islam. All we have to do, Moors, is just follow those clearly cut footsteps that he laid for us, Moors, and everything will be opened up for us, right? All these problems that we think we have with our youth, and this generation ain't this, and this, put the Prophet before. Get yourself out of the way, because your way you want, your way you will have, but your way won't work. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam, right? We of course we were on time. We were actually before time. We arrived at the school. Welcomed. I mean, pretty much everything was laid out for us. I did a brief opening, give the floor to Brother Raphael Bey, who gave a phenomenal demonstration. I called him the forerunner for that setting because he definitely opened the way. The youth received him very well. He kicked it back to me, and I demonstrated my portion of understanding. And more, when I tell you these young people, like the condition that our young people are in, more is you can see the despair on their face. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the thing that really wore on my spirit was the fact that these babies are too young to be that heavy-hearted. Islam. And you can really tell that their home situations are not anywhere where they need to be, right? Because they have no place where, they're getting, boosted up at. Nobody's backing them up and giving them the love necessary to equip them to even cope out here. Islam. We had, I think it was one Mexican sister in the class, right? Yes. She was the only one. Okay. And so we spent the conversation primarily, conversation on Asiatics here in America, stuff like that. But I had to bring our Mexican sister in, and we did a comparative thing between Spanish and Arabic, showing how the Spanish and Arabic is the same language, and that brought her right into the conversation. And I told them, look, this is your cousin right here. Don't alienate her because she speaks another tongue. It's family right here. That's right. Islam, Moors, But our Prophet, he has really divinely prepared us in a way that we don't imagine. In those old martial art flicks, man, they used to have the person that would come in the Shaolin temple, and he'd be inside of there, and he'd be wanting to learn one thing, but the masters would be like, nah, go do this mundane task. Sweep the floor for a year, but sweep it this way, And he's not even realizing he's learning a technique, you know what I'm saying? They throw him out the temple, somebody run up on him, he disassemble him, without even thinking, because that the way he was told to sweep that floor. You know what I'm saying? It was actually a technique. That's kind of how the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is teaching us, with the mundane aspect of of that which is holy day, Sunday school, Quran class. Repetition is the mother of mastery. Islam. So, whenever called upon to demonstrate the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you should be able to go into that at a moment's notice, with no hesitation. The teacher who invited me to the school, I met him on Wednesday. He had a whole nother speaker canceled out. He was walking out the door, saw the books. He's like, I like these books. Y'all guys give those books stuff off. You wrote these? Do you do public speaking? Yeah, you do it all the time. Would you mind coming out? Not at all. You know, and just like that, you know, we went and demonstrated. Now we got to go back next Friday. You know, now teachers are talking about bringing their classes together to hear the prophet's message. Now they're trying to find finance to. We got this money over here. We can make sure. Islam was?
Islam.
You know, seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and all these other things we have done too. So a lot of times we go seeking that national side first, only, without spirit. You see, and we forget. You know, this is not our native plane. Our native plane is a plane of spirit, Islam. So everything that we do, I can't speak for everybody else on the planet. I can't. I'm speaking for this pedigree here. Everything that we do has to be spirit based. Right? Spirit has to guide everything we do, even how we get our commerce and our finance. It has to be, you know, it has to be your those higher realms of thought into why we're going to do that. Islam. You know, because these things are not, you know, like so just demonstrate. These ensigns are not meant for your own good, but for the good of the kingdom. Islam. You know, and this thing, you know, that we have in our mouths, you know, this tongue, you know, is a very powerful thing. It can work for you or against you. It's a double-edged sword. Islam. And our Prophet Noble Riley had an article in the Morris God newspaper written February 1st, 1929, called Tongues. And this article reads, it says, one of the most difficult things in this world to get control of is the human tongue. Kipling, speaking of Rudyard Kipling, you know, for your English lit majors out there, Kipling never wrote anything more true when he wrote that, quote, man may hold most any post if he'll only hold his tongue. Before you set your tongue to action, get it under control. A single tongue can do more harm in the world than a battalion of soldiers. For soldiers can kill but bodies, while the tongue can kill reputation and characters. Really, it is too bad that we have no laws to curb tongues from lying and scandalizing. No doubt you have all read the story of Iago, Othello, in one of Shakespeare's plays, where he powerfully pictured in the character of Iago the terrible consequences following the path of an evil tongue. Iago not only destroyed the reputation and pure character of Desdemona, but he finally, through Othello, killed her body. That's why I say, compel your tongue to speak helpful messages, or else keep it still. Make it a rule of life to use your tongue for high purposes only. Resolve to speak of a man or woman of no other way unless you speak of the good qualities of that man or woman. No one ever gained happiness out of injuring the feelings or character of someone else. No one ever failed to get happiness by speaking well of other people. So learn as if you were to learn, as if you were to live forever. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Prophet Noble Riley. Islam. First of all, you know, we as Moorish Americans have to step up to the level of communication of our prophet. See, our prophet communicated to us in a certain way, a certain degree of civility that we've lost somewhere along the way since he passed form. But this is why why it says read carefully the doctrines of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Don't just say, it didn't just say read the doctrines of the Moorish. Read them carefully, right? Because if every word is spirit, which it is, the prophet said, my every word is spirit. So every word he wrote is spirit. So it's conveying an energy to you of how to conduct yourself, right? During those times when you're tried. The Quran of Mecca says, do you think that you will say you have faith and not be tested? You're going to be tried. So when you're tried and your time comes up, can you be the message that you bring? Or will you fall to your passions? I myself was tried this week. You know, my brother Raphael Bay. I'm going to give special honors to this more right here, but I'll get back to that. But my more right here, we've appointed him, you know, over all our social media stuff. So all the stuff is on the internet, the videos, the editing. That's this man right here. He put up a clip of a Holy Day meeting that I did last year. And it was a 10-minute clip with the link to the entire video at the bottom. So he puts the clip up, and you know, it was a clip where out of that 10-minute segment, I made 2 statements. And one of them was basically like, ain't no more without being a temple more. What other kind of more is it but a temple more, right? Needless to say, is ones that are outside the Moorish Science Temple. America refer to themselves as Moorish radicals, right? This is contradictory to our laws, right? So the stance that I take, and will always take, Allah willing, is the stance that I allow Prophet Ali, the way that he brought it. Prophet said attend your meetings. That means you have to be in the temple to attend your meetings. Islam. So ones took offense to that, and they spent 2 days worth of shows, pretty much on a statement that I made. The more short was, called me on Monday, gave me the dignity to call me on Monday to let me know he was going to do a show with my name being thrown around. Oh, I know this ain't really your thing. I know you don't really, get on the thing, but can I get a statement from you? No, I'm all as well. Have at it. Let me know how it works out. Well, inshallah, something good will come up. Islam, getting that tongue under control. Islam. Now, I didn't say I'm human, boss. I'm in the form just like you, right? I'm a Libra. Them scales are something to deal with, right? It don't take much to set them off balance, right? So I'm not gonna say that within those 2 days, I didn't have to deal with wanting to say something, right? But I held, in those 2 days that I held, that Wednesday afternoon, evening, was when I met the teacher with this opportunity for an uplifting act to set my tongue in motion for something high, a high purpose only. Islam was to help these babies. Prophet said what I'm doing is for the young and yet unborn. Islam, right? So when we're moving our tongue, we got that tongue in motion. We got to ask, well, we're creating, right? But what are you creating in the process of it? Is it done out of, let's say, are we doing these things out of vanity? I'm speaking in a general person, not that instant. Are we speaking out of vanity? Are we speaking, it's a phrase I use, to be the deepest person in the room? You see what I'm saying? That's one thing, we dialogue and we share information, whatever. But sometimes, well, it said that, the wise man can play a fool, but a fool can never be a wise man. Sometimes you just shut up and let them happen. And just see where everybody's at in the room, where everybody else is in the room. Praise Allah. You don't have to shine. Sometimes when you sitting there silent, you shining more, you revealing light. Right? Sometimes you don't even have to say anything. How many times you've had people walk up to you and ask you, you Muslim? You Muslim, right? You something. You ain't got the holy garb on, your fez ain't on, no signs, symbols, but you're sitting there, but you're radiating them. Right? And they can feel, so ain't no such thing as like hiding who you are. Can't be done. My brother Charles Bayright, I'm bragging on my more. I've always told the Moors to be careful of denigrating, we dealt with that word a couple weeks ago, denigrating various ones that the Prophet taught, those different masters that the Prophet taught. What do I mean by that? You have Brother Charles Kirkman Beck, may Allah be pleased with him. You have Brother John Givens-Hill, may Allah be pleased with him. You have Timothy and Richardson Dingle-Hill, may Allah be pleased with them. Dr. R. German Beck, may Allah be pleased with him. You have all these different masters, right? You don't know, when you separate in the world, we strive to remember the relation, right? That binding us to love and unity. But sometimes we have a tendency to forget, and we fall back into our ancient hatreds. And when we do that, you never know, in setting your tongue to an ill purpose, you may be offending a student of one of those masters. Right? When I met my brother Charles Beck, came into the barbershop, and we got to talking. It was high from immediate. But I didn't know that the Moor right here was born and raised in the Moor Science Temple. Islam? Oh, but may I ask how old you are?
54.
54. It's 54 years as part of this movement. Right? Brother's genealogy comes directly from the reincarnated prophet.
The founder.
The founder?
And then the reincarnated.
And then the reincarnated prophet. Islam? So, brother has a lot of, high information about what the reincarnated prophet really stood for. Away from the propaganda of what they said he was. That's in his family. That's in his bloodline. Islam? Like we talk about the cooked bays. It's 1 million cooked bays around the country. 1 million cooked bays around the country, especially in Mecca. And what I'm saying is like, you'll do more harm than good initiating the ancient hatreds, going back and forth on that. When we can just say, praise Allah and honor his prophet.
Praise the Lord.
Allah and Ali, and just leave it be at that. You know, we have our records to come together on, and when we fall out of sync, we just open the record. You know, because I could be wrong, you could be wrong, we could both be wrong. But let's measure it by the record. Islam. And when we do that, we find that we have more in common than not. You know, because the Prophet Noble Ali is the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? And he was that before it fell into disarray. Islam? All right? So, you know, that's just my biggest thing right here. You know, I want to, you know, I labor to lead by example. Right? So when I'm attacked, you know, I want to show you all through example of how to deal with an attack. The book of Ecclesiastes tells you it's a time for everything now. Don't get that twisted. So I'm not a pacifist by far, because my prophet wasn't. Right? Because if he was, Brother Howard Johnson Bay wouldn't exist. If you know what that was. If not, I'm not dealing with that on hold that. I had to catch me on another day. Right? But the point is that, you know, there's a time for everything, but, you know, the representative self of ours that we put out to the world, which is a reflection of our true self, is that spirit man and that spirit woman. You know? And when you put that into the world, that people see that, and they see the Prophet Noble Ali through your form. Islam? You know? Now, we need our own schools. You know? There are very, you know, serious reasons why we do. You know? One of the reasons is affiliation. You know? And you don't know what people are really loyal to. Most are loyal to the dollar. Okay? So, you know, you have to look at it like, you know, as a Moorish American Muslim who came out of Asia, you know, out of the cares of the world, stepped on solid rock of salvation. You know, you came to this supposedly in the name of uplifting fallen humanity. That's the spirit that we come in. If that's why you're here, then the schools we establish should be on a much more solid foundation than what we see in those public schools. Right? Now, we'll go in and we'll demonstrate, but that's really patchwork. That's really putting like a bandage on a hemorrhage. You know, but you know, as people with a nationality, right? We know we always, at every step of the way, need our own. You know, there's a pale Jewish Zionist passed from years ago in the time of the prophet named Theodore Herzl, and in his book, The Judenstaat, the Jewish State, you know, he was basically, you know, alluding to the fact that the pale Jews would be abused everywhere they went around the earth until they had their own. Right? Now, if I would have read Der Judenstaat to you without telling you who he was, you'd have thought it was Garvey or the prophet, because he was speaking that universal language, you know, because that's the universal truth. Until you have your own, you're supposed to get abused. Right? Prophet and the divine warner of the nation, he tells us about that when he gives us a degree about the undesirable. Don't nobody want you around when you don't have nothing to offer. You're a consumer. You ask, you know, you continuously asking people to break off pieces of their cake or pie or loaf of bread. That gets old after a while. One of my elders used to say, get your mouth out of somebody else's kitchen. You build your own kitchen, right? So, you know, we complain, oh, they poisoning us at Kroger, this, now. Well, why are you shopping there? You're wrong. You're a man, aren't you? Islam. You're a woman, aren't you? Why are you not playing your own stuff? Islam, oh, you don't own no land. Oh, you're in an apartment. Oh, you got the hydroponic joint. You can do it indoors now. It literally now is no excuse. You know, we're being poisoned now voluntarily. We take that. You know, so in many ways, you know, we who are proclaimed Moorish Americans are in no way different than those who call themselves, classify themselves as Negro, blacks, and colors, who are operating under the same energy, right? But I'm here to tell you that when we come in, you know, in various different settings, we're welcome there. Because they want us there, because they know we got something. We got to fully unfold it on our side before we start going around talking, telling people what they should be doing. You know, because upon inspection, they're going to say, well, y'all ain't that tight either. Islam? And that's the thing about truth. Truth don't care nothing about, you know, respecting persons. Truth don't care nothing about it. Truth don't care nothing about no fez or a turban. Don't care nothing about it. Right? So, you know, this is the thing that, you know, these are the things that we have to really take seriously. You know, this is a time right now where, you know, especially here in Atlanta, Moorish Americans in Atlanta are going to start easing out into the mainstream. It's starting to happen, right? And as we do that, you know, that's, you know, it's going to kind of like build a resume for us. That's why I've always, the Moors who've been here can let you know, like, I'm real serious about going out in public. I can't handle being embarrassed. I'm not built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you embarrass me in public, it's gonna be bad. You know, I might have to sit myself down for a while after what I'm gonna say, because you know this legacy that we demonstrate is too great. You know what I'm saying? Like what Prophet Noble Drew Ali went through in the day that he went through it, and gave his form up just so we can have these lessons, right? We can't play with this stuff.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So when we out and you know we demonstrating the Prophet, I mean, if you're gonna demonstrate it, demonstrate it. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, like I've never had a problem with nobody extending the learning. Just bring it back to the core foundation. You know, always square it with the Prophet. Always, no matter what you're studying, always square it with the Prophet. You know, and my biggest thing too, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to read a section of the Quran, and I'm going to close because I'm not going to burn no more. But you know, is that character building? You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, we can't live in hypocrisy and deceit and be Moorish American. Can't do it. You know, it's a lot of worldly activity we gotta give up. Period. You know what I'm saying? Either we're gonna live in truth or we're not. You know, we gotta get married. If we're gonna be with somebody, we gotta marry. That's law. That's Prophet's law. You know, the Prophet gives the instructions on how that's supposed to be done. He gives an instruction every step of the way about how to be this Moorish American Muslim that he was constructing. You know, in Egypt they had this deity called Khnum, who sat at the potter's wheel, right? You know, ironically, that's T.D. Jakes named his church the Potter's House, right? Respect to the church. So the potty, you know, Khnums. Now, if you ever seen anybody molding clay, you know, it's a perfect rhythm that has to be struck. 360 degrees, if not, it'll collapse. You see? The Prophet was molding us, you know, from, if you want to call it, Canaanite temple, right? Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? Moorish Science Temple of America. This is it right here. Take that and put it in the oven now. Let it bake. You see what I'm saying? Come out perfected man and woman. Islam. Moorish Science Temple, man, know thyself. That's Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what he did, right? And when you actualize these lessons and take them and make them a part of your being, you become that image that he created by way of the Levi of Allah, right? And now you can speak with the nations of the earth with authority. At the end of the, and this is again all praises to Allah. At the end of the section when I spoke with the children, the teacher came up. He had like a whiteboard, like, you know, little paper thing that you flip. And he had a little thing where he did something like this. He wrote my name in the middle. Excuse me. And he did like a little cloud thing. He told the children to say the first word that comes to your mind about this thing when I count to 3. And he counted to 3, and they all like kind of shouted at him. He was like, wait. He said, in my 20 years of doing this, I've never had that happen. You know, and he shared with me that in his time spent, he's traveled all over. He said he's never seen anyone engage, you know, these type of children that we have, right, in an hour's time. And at the end of it, you have them like super engaged. You know, I had one little boy came to me after me, can you please tell me what my name means? I want to know what my name is. I want to know more about my culture. Please, like, I got you, brother. Don't worry about it. You understand what I'm saying? So these children are starving. That's not a game, folks. You see what I'm saying? When we start playing with this, like we playing, to play with children's destiny is criminal. You know, I asked the children, I said, what code do you live by? They didn't know what that meant. Code? C-O-D-E code? Okay, what principles do you live by? Okay, how about this? Would you like if somebody stole from you? No. You know? Would you like if somebody lied to you? No. This was a big one right here. Would you like if somebody promised you something and didn't do it? No. Evidently, you know, people as parents, sometimes we promise our children stuff and we don't come through. Thinking they're going to forget. Kids don't forget nothing. Nothing. Promise a child something if you want to. Islam? I mean, it's actually better to just say, no, I can't do it. And let them be mad in that moment and hold a grudge with you forever, because they'll be grown. It's adults right now mad at what their parents promised them when they was little. Because they didn't get G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip in the 70s. Islam? True. That stuff is real. You know what I mean? So how about when we go out to the community and promise our people that we're going to build up our side of the nation, and we don't do it? You know, so then we become classed as charlatans and so on and so forth. And this is how the Prophet's institution gets a bad name, and this is how people don't want to join the temple, but they want to be Moorish American on their own. That's how that happens. So I understand it. but it doesn't justify Islam. So, we have to clean these temples up. We got to clean the temples up. We got to make the temple attractive. Islam, brother.
Islam.
Yes, please.
Islam, I rise, giving all praise to Allah, Father of the universe, the highest of honor to his noble and divine prophet,
Islam.
Islam.
Recognize me.
I want to first give honors to you and Brother Raphael for your great works, great missionary works.
Praise God.
Feels like right in tune with what I'm working with, trying to do, what I am doing, what I have rolling in my mind and whatnot. But I wanted to know, what school did you go to?
South Atlanta.
South Atlanta.
Yeah, so this is back here off of Humphrey, right off Jonesboro Road.
Okay.
And it's right, and it's beautiful because it's actually in this district 12. And, we want to do a lot of work in this particular district.
Exactly.
Because we have a vested interest because obviously we're here.
Exactly.
Right? And so it was a very, 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 beautiful thing. Like I said, we want to, continue more works of such. And we want, I had a brother call me today who saw the video and was like, he wants to talk with us relative to how do we get into, to the school, and because he wants to do it in his area and so on and so forth. So, you'd be surprised because, our people, man, we just need a win. You know what I'm saying? Our people just need a win, no matter how sizable of the win. Yeah. But we need something to look to and be like, oh man, wow, okay, we need to do that. Because if you saw it and it was done, that means it can be done. You see what I'm saying? The whole thing about I become a demonstrator of the possibilities of man. That's what that means. Because if he did it, if the prophet did it, I mean, it could be done. Right? And again, the prophet's energy was pretty much the same thing as his energy was 2,000 years before that. The works that I do, you'll do even greater. The Egyptian proverb said, woe to the student that does not surpass his master. We haven't even matched the prophet yet. 80 years out. And, through sin and disobedience, every nation is suffered slavery. Islam. I just want to read this section, chapter 23, Holy Instructions for Our Children. Because again, pretty much, when I demonstrate, this is all I use. This was the spirit of it. Chapter 23. Say Islam, you there?
Islam.
Chapter 23, Holy Instructions for Thy Children. Instruction 1. Consider. And it has a comma after that. So you pause, right? Consider, which does also mean to reflect, right? Consider, thou art a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support it. Upon thee also it depended whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, and useful or a worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instruction. Season his mind with the maxims of truth. Watch the bent of his inclinations. Set him right in his youth. And let no evil habit gain strength with his years. So shall he rise like a cedar on the mountains. His head shall be seen above the trees of the forest. A wicked son is a reproach to his father, but he that doth right is an honor to his gray hairs. The soil, this is my verse right here, and it's number 7 too. The soil is thine own, let it want not cultivation. Islam also, we have to cultivate our people. It's just like, anybody ever planted something before? You can't just put a seed in the ground. You gotta turn that ground over. You gotta work with the ground first. You gotta get it prepared before you plant the seed. Islam. So it's like our people, they're in a raw state. We gotta work with them first before you start planting them seeds. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just run up to an Asiatic telling them, you're not Negro, black, and color. Nah, you gotta gain their trust. You know what I'm saying? You gotta win them in their vibe first. My more right here, Brother Montgomery Bay, and I had a wonderful conversation the other night. And one of the things that came out of it was the fact that, the European tricked us to be in this state. So to get our people back, I'm not gonna say you gotta trick them because that's low. But you gotta win their confidence first before you unload on them. Because most, we like to just unload on people. And it's a turnoff. Islam? I started a roundtable unity discussion with the Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party, Hebrew Israelites, the YBMs, whatever. And it was a touch and feel for about the first 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody got their sensitive points. You know what I mean? And then, like that book, The Law of Nations, that the sister was demonstrating from, when you're dealing with governmental policy and stuff, like, you got to, first of all, you got to study, you got to know the sensitive points. You got to know to stay away from them. and you got to ease in your program. You got to ease it in one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? And cultivate the relationship. Cultivate. Islam? Right? Moving forward, verse 7. The seed which thou sowest, that also that shalt thou reap. And it goes into the instructions. Teach him obedience, and he shall bless thee. Teach him modesty, and he shall not be ashamed. Teach him gratitude, and he shall receive benefits. Teach him charity, and he shall gain love. Teach him temperance, and he shall have health. Teach him prudence, and fortune shall attend him. Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own heart shall not reproach him. Teach him diligence, and his wealth shall increase. Teach him benevolence, and his mind shall be exalted. Teach him science, and his life shall be useful. Teach him religion, and his death shall be happy. Surely Allah speaks the truth to his holy divine prophet, Prophet Dr. Ali. Islam wars. All praise is truly due to Allah. The highest honor to his holy divine prophet, Dr. Ali. Islam wars. Those instructions are not just for, minors, under 18 children. Those are for us, right? That 12-step ladder that was just demonstrated, there's a 12-step ladder that we even adults have to keep climbing. You know what I'm saying? And don't get locked into the interpretation that it's a zodiacal. Yes, it does touch on it, and you can apply that, yes, but it's not just that. Islam, the zodiac, means circle of animals. That's a closed circle. The Prophet brought us an open gated circle, right? So in your interpretations, remember to keep your interpretations open, right? Because the only absolute is Allah. Everything else is interpretation, right? So, Moses, I just want to say, we have a mighty work to do. I just want everybody, whatever your skill set is, come and bring that to the temple. Right? It doesn't do us much good if we have these skills outside of the institution that was designed to bring us together. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we have, and there's nothing wrong, you can have friends with people that are not inside the Lord's Science Temple of America. You can do that, right? But you have to remember, if you've read your Quran, there is a friend or friendship is a degree. That's not something you just throw around. So, in the world, what you really have is acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? You have acquaintances and stuff like that. You don't really have friends. Because it talks about when Jesus, chapter 15, he says, after he conquered self, and he was hungry after he was fasting or whatever. It didn't say his disciples, it said his friends came and ministered unto him. Islam, it was some of them same ones that came to the tomb and marched the counter-march, and was silent and unsheathed not their swords. Islam, you know what I'm saying? So, so a friend, that friend is going to be there, in your most dire moment. I want to give 2 announcements just to show the dichotomy of the polarity. What night was that? Brother Jazz, Brother Jabari? That was last night. Stuff runs together. Last night, yesterday afternoon, I received a text from our brother Jabari Ashed Bey that his wife, Sister Jasmine Ashed Bey, had gone into labor. And so we went over to the birthing center. They didn't go to a hospital, to a birthing center. She had it the baby immersed in water. Had demonstration, beautiful demonstration. So we went down there and she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She's the newest member of Temple of United. All praise to Allah. Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
Praise Allah. And 180 degrees from that, I get the message today that our brother Serene had pretty much what amounts to have a heart attack last night. Well, yeah, last night into this point. Blood pressure's high. These, they have them stabilized and stuff like that. But, the point is that life is fragile. See, we have this thing of, we think that we're, invulnerable. The ego is something, we think we can't be harmed. We think we're going to be here forever. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, man, if something happened to you today where you were incapacitated and couldn't move, how would you gauge your progress as far as what you know about this Moorish movement and what you contributed to it? Like if the Prophet was standing in front of your bed, right? You were laying there, you couldn't do anything, right? You had to account to the Prophet himself, right? Could you give a good accounting of your time while you could move, while you could speak, while you were moving amongst the nations? Could you give a good accounting? You know what I'm saying? For me, that's my litmus test as far as, you know, how to move and how to operate. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes we hit a little high, sometimes, you know, sometimes it's right on the level, sometimes it's low, right? But you have to be able to, you know, give an accounting of yourself. You know, one of my elders said, teach yourself what to do, tell yourself what to do so others won't have to. Islam was?
Islam.
You know, so, you know, I just want us all to, you know, to strive harder to make this institution mean something. Because you can best believe, none of them synagogues around Atlanta is a joke. I haven't seen a small synagogue in Atlanta. I haven't seen a small Jewish community in Atlanta. They all doing things.
Islam.
You know, our Mexican brothers and sisters doing things. The Brazilian community off of, I think it's Delta Road, doing things. Islam,
Islam.
you see what I'm saying? And we are their equals because we have a nationality. You know, but we got to get used to putting our brains together to accomplish the goal. You know, and some of you, like the prophet said, shining lights in the business world, right? Shining lights. You know, torchbearers know what to do, right? But those of us who know what to do, and those who don't know what to do, the ones who don't know what to do, have to be humble enough to empty your cup and listen. Sometimes you got to shut up more. Did that hurt your feelings? Did that hurt you? Y'all all right? Sometimes you just got to shut up.
Master student.
It's not master and servant. You know, with all of your Moorishness, sometimes you got to shut up and be humble. You know, but we haven't learned that because you kind of wake up how you know, like whatever state you was in last night, you go to sleep, you wake up. If you went to sleep with bills on your mind, when you wake up, you didn't really sleep that good. You still got it on your mind. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So imagine we went to sleep at the end of the empire, killing each other, setting each other up, ancient hatred, stuff like that. The prophet woke us up, but he was careful how he woke us up. He said, because I wake y'all up once too fast, y'all might tear up something. Right? Because he knew that energy. Right? And we still shaking off the fact of what we did in a previous lifetime. It's not a game. Right? So I just want, you know, just to take these opportunities, these moments, you know, if you're not up on your prayers, you know, bring your prayers back. If you're not up on your meditations, bring your meditations back. If you're a person that deals with affirmations, do your affirmations. You know, if you fast, if you haven't fasted, do your fast. You know, whatever you need to get your discipline together so you can hear that small, still voice. Right? And so we can stand shoulder to shoulder and rank, right? And get things done. That's the thing, Islamically, what, you know, Muslims stand together. You know, that's what Muslims are known for. People defer, when people find out you're a Muslim, they defer to you automatically. They're like, oh man, y'all work together. You know, and we know we don't always work together, right? But that's the perception. Why? Because that's what our forefathers did, and they did it well, right? We just did a poor job with picking up the torch and running with it, right? So we got to show that rank and file structure. You see what I'm saying? And the way the prophet said this, Act 1 reads that the orders come from the top down, not bottom up. You see what I'm saying? But from the top, according to magistrate's subject, he listens to those. You see what I'm saying? He's concerned with, you know, the opinions of them all. Right? He makes the determinations based out of the welfare of the whole. Or she, if it's a grand sheik. Islam was?
Islam.
You know? So again, you know, we're just doing this in the spirit of, you know, just bringing real leadership back, because, you know, there's something parading around called the conscious community, and it's a poor representation of what the Marcus Garvey stood for, the Prophet stood for, Elijah Muhammad stood for, Dr. York stood for, the Hebrew Israelite leaders, Yahweh ben Ami, because they were nation builders, right? Stood for, right? Because they wasn't about, you know, no philosophy, and wasn't none being built. None of them brothers, right? I could point to each one of their organizations and show stuff that they built, and how they changed people's lives, and built stuff. Islam? But this conscious community has become a thing where you just do a YouTube video, become a personality, and get likes. That's not what this is. Don't descend. They're not to descend to meanness. Don't take this to that. Or, you know, in prophecy, your enemies are the ones that drag your prophet to the very lowest. You know? And to ridicule, you know, the principles of your tongues. Islam Moors? So with that, our Lord meeting Moors. Islam Moors? Y'all all right on the holy day, Moors?
Well.
All right. Had to be a little serious, but we got to do this work. Islam? Islam? Moor Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali, founder, home office, Chicago, Illinois, March 11th, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must put an end to all radical and agitating speech while on their jobs, homes, or on the public streets. We advocate peace and not destruction. Stop trying out your cards with the Europeans for causes confusion. There has been much confusion caused by members trying out their cards, the cards for your salvation. Failure of obeying my orders will be of severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members that seek to hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or to violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet, and if they lose confidence in their prophet, give up your card and button, cease wearing your turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. For this is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet is sending out a divine plea to all true Moorish Americans that they may do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet, the will of Allah, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Peace. Noble Drew Ali. Islam.
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 All praise is due to Allah, the highest. Honest, holy divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. As I always do, I like to thank the ones that came out tonight, sacrifice on a Friday night away from their families, to come here, the program of the prophet, Noble Drew Ali, or to be reminded of the program of the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. One thing about the carnal flesh is that, it calls you to forget. It calls you to forget. Kind of numbs you out, right? It has you in a position where you don't want to remember Allah. You don't want to remember the prophets, any of them, because they all came with the same message, right? But yours came with a specific message for your condition, right? And we just have to remember that, this is a thought movement, and this is Allah does not live in the noise of tongues, all right? So let's get this work done. Let's go, separate into the world, and gather our various different connections and bring all that stuff back to the simple, and let us pull our resources. Let us make something out of this, right? Just like we got invited to the school, we're away from each other, at least 7 days or a couple of days before the next meeting and stuff like that. People you come across or whatever, brother, I killed Bal, give honor to this more right here. Some of our here been propagating the faith, calling people to the temple, all that. That's the work, Islam. And the honor I want to give specifically to Brother Raphael Bey is the fact that, he is a Moorish American unlike the likes of which I have not seen before. The reason why I said that's a bold statement. I've seen a lot of different Moorish Americans that I've issued cards to. This brother is unique in that from day one, that he stood right on the other side of this altar, and I put the fez on his head. From that day forward, everything was Grand Sheik, what needs to be done. Grand Sheik, what we got to do. We were so much in tune at one point, I was thinking, man, we need to get a camera to videotape the class. I texted him, more, what do you think about it? He said, more, I just bought it. I already have it.
Islam.
Praise Allah for this more. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just certain things. And again, this is not to set this more above everyone to the point to cause jealousy. But, honor to whom honor is due.
Islam.
Islam? Because Moors just don't come like that. I'm telling you, Moors. Being a Grand Sheik in this movement, I tell you, I've seen all kind of slickness from Asiatics that want to call themselves Moors, right? I've never seen nothing like this Moor right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to brag on him. Y'all might get mad, but, he might even pull me this like Grand Sheik. Don't do that. But the point is that I give honors to him because I know how rare that is. You know what I'm saying? And it almost reminds me of myself because I'm the type of person, Moors, if I ever ask you to do something, I only ask once. I don't beg adults. I don't do it. Again, because, okay, you won't do it, fine, I'll do it by myself. It's still going to get done. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to, and maybe that's my own vanity and my own pride. I got to do it. It is, because our prophet has something called, a divine plea. And he was a prophet of Allah, so who am I, right? But, it's just, it becomes frustrating as a leader, that, people who you see every week, who allegedly know what needs to be done. And then when it's time to get it done, they're not there. Or they're remixing how you ask them to do it. Because our people have a problem with the letter of the law. We love the spirit. We despise the letter, and insofar as more do it this way, take this person, tell them this, and then get this back from them, and come back to me. And then you don't hear from them. More, what happened? Well, I just figured, I was going to see you on Holy Day anyway, so I was just going to wait till I saw you. Well, that ain't what I told you, bro. You see what I'm saying? There's no government on earth that functions that way. Right? And that's not what our prophet brought us. Islam, and, again, hitting on Brother Albert Johnson Bay just in passing. That was a more that if the prophet knew he couldn't depend on nobody, if he called that more right there, it was going to get done. Whatever it was, right? Because a prophet of Allah is only going to ask you something that's within universal law. Islam, and Brother Albert Johnson Bay knew that, right? And he's like, that's my prophet. He personalized the prophet. Like, that's my prophet. How many of us do that with the prophet? We don't. That's the prophet. We say that's the prophet. You don't claim the prophet. It was foreigners claiming the prophet. Turks, Greeks. That's my prophet. We say that's the prophet. And he came to us. Moors chasing the prophet around the temple with knives in the temple. Stuff like that. Turk had to. You heard him out. Do X, Y, Z to all y'all. Islam? But another subject at a time. But Moors, I love you all, Moors. And this work we do, everything we do is out of pure love. From a motive of love and gratitude. Islam. So everyone please rise when we close as we begin. Moorish American prayer. Please hold your feet at 45-degree angle, standing on your square. Rise 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Invoke the sacred presence of 7 Elohim that created everything that ever was, is, or evermore to be. Please repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe,
The Father of the universe.
Father of love,
Father of love.
truth,
Truth.
peace,
Peace.
freedom,
Freedom.
and justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector.
my guide,
My guide.
and my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night,
By night.
and by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet,
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Islam, Moors.
Islam.
Praise Allah. Islam.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة